It's time for Quick Draw. Get out your tickets now. We're playing Quick 2, 3, and 4. Good luck!
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, their guests, callers, and advisors on Eye of the Nation are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Eye of the Nation is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Eye of the Nation is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights are reserved.
Hello, welcome to Eye of the Nation. I'm Ethan.
I'm Sadie Brown. And normally around this time, we begin the show with some sort of rant, something that has been bothering us.
Sure.
But I must say, today I have a good rant.
Yeah.
So if it's a good rant, it's not a rant, is it?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, whatever it is. But I guess it's let me just say the story. So anybody coming from out east, traffic, the light is out. Lights are out. I don't know if it's BPL. I don't know if something happened, but traffic lights are out. So coming from Village Road all the way up, there was no traffic lights. I fought for my life at that intersection with Village Road, right there where, where the plaza is. You could turn down Wolf Road. You could turn down that way to go Burnett Road. You could go to, that with all those cars coming in all those different directions.
Right.
I fought for my life trying to come up there because nobody want to stop.
Which way were you coming from? Burnett?
No, Village Road. I was coming from Village Road.
Okay.
Coming up.
Going towards Parkgate.
Yes. Okay. So Wolf Road goes this way, then you go straight onto Village Road. Burnett Road is this way.
We could use like nautical. Right?
Oh no, I don't know. You say things like that, I will never understand what you mean.
Yeah,
but
so she was coming up Village Road going this way. Mm-hmm.
But in any event, the light was out, so fighting for my life. Nobody wants to let anyone out. It took me forever to come from there, so much so that I called the set and was like, look, I'm probably going to be late. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm at a light at Marathon, and that's probably going to be worse than the light at Village Road. Mm-hmm. But, like manna from the heaven, the Lord sent some police officers who let me don't say who happened to be passing. I don't know if somebody called and say, look, y'all need to get by this light by Marathon. But by the time that I was when I could see, I saw a police car pull up, two officers, a female and a guy, and they started directing traffic. And in 5-10 minutes, I was out of there. Yeah. So shout out to those members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Police officers.
Yeah, because and the uniform that they were, now mind you, I don't know the difference in it, but I don't think that they were traffic officers. Okay. And that a lot of officers would have drove past and be like, that ain't really my job. Right. That's traffic job. And traffic is kind of right up there across the highway anyway. Right. But they stopped and they directed traffic and everything seemed to be well. Now, I don't know if lights are back on, if traffic is still running smoothly, but when I was in it, they were doing a good job. So I wanted to just shout out to those members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force that went out there and directed traffic and did a good job at it. And I got to work on time.
Since you're talking about traffic, we might as well shout out Sarge as well. You know Sarge from the roundabout in the morning?
Yes.
I understand he's going to be retiring this year.
They say he does a great job. That's the one that's there. But
retiring this year.
Oh, really?
Month. Yeah, it's supposed to be retiring in the month of March. So if you live in the Jamaica Road area,
or Coral Harbor, because they come in. Coral Harbor too. Coral Harbor. It's Coral Harbor, Carmichael Road.
Wherever you
area,
live,
yeah.
Get yourself a helicopter. Because that's the only way you can be able to get to the Carmichael Road, because Sarge is leaving apparently.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to replace him with somebody.
Any other police other than Sarge there?
Because that was his job, but I highly doubt.
That his ministry.
I highly doubt if they're going to retire. I don't go that way in the morning to see the traffic.
Sarge,
I have no idea.
All I'm saying is, man, don't quit yet. Yes, 2 more years.
Are you going to pay that man to stay on?
No, but if it's a ministry, it could be free. You know, I don't see why not.
All I'm saying is, shout out to those officers. They did a great job. Traffic seems to be running smoothly. Now, I don't know if BPL is off. I don't know if there's, they have a group you could look in
Y'all
now.
gonna be knocked down a lamp pole. You know, I've been
No, from
advised-
all the way for power to be off that
Trust
wide.
me,
Let me look and see what
I've
they
been
say inside the
advised
group.
By my friends who do wrecking. Shout out to Lil Sam, the wrecker man, right? But Lil Sam them tell me every weekend, God send, y'all just knock down but 5 lamp poles around this place. He don't even know where they keep getting all these new lamp poles from. He says, especially if it's a holiday weekend, you could absolutely guarantee minimum no less than 5 lamp poles.
Okay, well, I'll just say this. They did say, I gone and I went and I checked. Village Road, same place I was out. BPL say Village Road, Bernard Road, Belair, Camp Road, Shirley Street, Paradise Island are out.
So the Eastern District.
Yeah, they say they're investigating the cause of the outages. This is my favorite part. No restoration window is available at this time. So
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future, y'all gonna be fighting in that traffic.
This is like,
Eye on the Nation will be back right after these messages.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. Again, I'm Levan Miller.
I'm Sandy Brown.
You want to tell them where they're listening to us?
You can tell them.
You're listening to us on 103.5, the Beat FM, channel 224. That's on cable, channel 112 on Flow. And of course on Eye on TV Studios on Facebook and on Eye on the Nation on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're on 103 because I was told we weren't on 103 yesterday.
Well, we had some power issues or somebody was trying
They
to
were
sabotage
sabotaging us.
We had some issues yesterday,
It was
child,
the
but
F&M.
Why were the F&M trying to
Because the
sabotage us?
sabotage started. As soon as we start talking about the F&M,
No, that was right.
I correlated to believe that if the F&M was being talked about, as soon as the sabotage began, it is reasonable then to assume that the sabotage was in relation to the F&M. That is what I have deduced. Do you like my deducing?
Whatever you say, sir.
Very good.
Okay, see, I'm learning. The people tell me I hate men.
You're going to go very far. Have you been to Make Warner?
What? We stopped talking about BPL, and I was letting y'all know that there is an outage in like the eastern from Village Road, Paradise Island, Marathon, all of that. Lights are off, which means that power lights were off. I mean, street lights, not street lights, what do you call them?
Stoplights.
Stoplights were off. And I was saying thanks to the police officers who were out there trying to assist. BPL say they have no idea when the restoration is going to occur. They're investigating to see why power went out. So good luck to all those that are in that area. But there was some other BPL news that came out yesterday in the House of Assembly. The Prime Minister announced that, you know, despite what's going on with all the oil and the fluctuation in the oil prices, and this one trying to steal this one oil and this one hoarding oil, and nobody knows what's going to happen with the oil, that we don't have to worry, that our bills will not increase due to a possible increase in oil on the market. He's saying that our BPL bills will kind of remain the same. I mean, mine still is be high regardless.
Yeah.
But he said that it's going to stay the same. So y'all don't have to worry about the bills going up.
I actually feel like my bill is determined by two fellas in the back room rolling dice. And like every month they just see which number the dice roll. And then they say, write that on his bill.
You know what? I can honestly say I have no idea how it works because, for example, it was cold. When was that? January? We had like those weeks of it being like really cold. I had no AC on, no fan on. I was just sleeping with God. Good breeze blowing through my window. And there was absolutely no change in my light bill from the month before when I had the ceiling fan, the AC, and the stand fan on. One time I went away for like 3 weeks. Nobody was in the house. Lights off, came back. Light bill never changed.
Right.
So I think it's just
what I believe is I believe they just want to give you a range. Like they want you to use this amount. So go ahead and just use this amount because we'll just pre-bill you for that amount in any event. Again, you know, I'm one of those people who is a bit meticulous about tracking my bill, but somehow
you just have to pay it.
Yeah, and I don't even concern myself anymore. I take advice from my friend who say, you know, he just slide the money under the window and walk off. He don't even wait on a receipt. Because what you give me a receipt for, miss? Whatever one day I come back to put in something.
Yeah, honestly. But, you know, the Prime Minister also did say that bills continue to go down. I guess I'm not in that group of people whose bills continue.
Yeah, they say people in Galani don't need no break from their bill.
Whose bills continue. As a matter of fact, he said about 82% of BPL customers, about 78,000 households are now paying lower bills thanks to them and their rate adjustment that they did. And of those, he said 44% of those households, which is about 63%, have bills under $125. I'm not in any of those percentages. So if it's 83%, you know why I'm good at math. What's the other?
7 in.
I am not.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
you, Bahama, Anaris,
smacked up
Albany.
in that 17%. But we'll let you guys hear for yourself what he said, and then we'll talk about it after the clip.
And the company, we operate fuel rate or fuel charges based upon the cost of fuel at the time. We can't control that, but luckily the company would have engaged a fuel hedging program the last few months. And again, we're basically fuel hedging, so our price of fuel is controlled. We won't see or be impacted by this volatility that's occurring in the Middle East. I just checked my phone and it's showing that the crude oil is up to $85. Again, a few weeks ago it was around $60-some. But again, based on our fuel hedge, we're protected from this. And again, we're trying to control and make sure that our price of electricity stays stable as we work through all of these energy initiatives that's happening now.
Now, that is in the clip of the Prime Minister. I guess we're going to come back to that. But that goes to the first part of the conversation that we were having where they were saying, like, despite whatever's going on and all the tensions with the oil, that our bills won't go up because we've hedged fuel for a while. But I've always wondered why we just don't do it for a longer period of time. Whenever it's cheap, can we just buy up all the cheap oil?
No, because remember they also have legacy debt and they have to make payments to the legacy debt every month, which is why you have to have a balancing act of how much fuel you could buy. So even when fuel is dirt cheap, you still don't use all of your disposable cash on the fuel because you still have your debt to pay.
Understand, but let's hedge as much as we can hedge so the light bills could be lower. Whenever it's the cheapest, let's buy as much as we can, hoard it somewhere, keep it somewhere, so when it goes back up, we don't have to pay an exorbitant amount.
I also think that what I don't know is I don't know why the Prime Minister continues to get himself lulled into these conversations about things that are really and truly on paper outside of the remit of a Prime Minister, right? BPL is a corporation. It is responsible for its own business and running. It is to be ran without any interference from the Prime Minister, according to law. And so if I were the Prime Minister, I would tell people to stop asking me the BPL.
Nobody asked him about it. He said it in the House. We have the clip now. We're going to play it for you guys.
Well, over 60,000 households across the Bahamas now paying light bills of less than $125. This according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who announced the major drop during his address in the House of Assembly during the mid-year budget debate today. Speaking on his administration's work on the energy front, Davis attributed the sharp decrease to a new equity rate implemented by the Davis administration, the delivery of a promise he says he made to the Bahamian people to address the high cost of living.
82% of BPL customers, which is approximately 78,000 households, paid lower electricity bills than they would have under the old rate. 44% saw their bills fall by at least 15%. I say at least 15%. In some instances more. More than 63,000 households are now receiving bills under $125.
Davis did admit, however, that not every Bahamian may feel the fiscal relief that his administration is providing. To this end, the Prime Minister says the government has provided extra assistance to those whose electricity rates may have been shut off due to an inability to make payments. He also noted that power outages within the last few months have also decreased.
So between November 2024 and January 2025, 2,811 disconnected households across New Providence and the Family Islands were reconnected. With outstanding balances restructured on terms they could manage, because affordability must include a path back in and not simply a barrier that keeps people out. Lower bills matter, but reliability matters just as much, because what good is affordable electricity that is not there when you need it? I am pleased to report that power outage frequency fell by approximately 45% in 2025.
So, I
Sorry, you caught us.
I hear the
middle
Prime
of-
Minister.
So I guess congratulations to them for that.
He wanted a pat on the back for a policy position, but
He
again,
wanted a pat on the back because it's election time and BPL is a great election tool to use.
Sure, and I guess prime ministers before him have set the precedence of dilly-dallying in corporations' business. But you know, you have to decide whether or not you want to let the corporation run like a corporation. If you remember yesterday when we were doing our cabinet selections, I had said to
But
you
it's
that,
quasi, so it's not fully private.
but it has a board. It only collects money, some subsidies from the government, but it has a board. It has a chairman, an executive chairman, and it ought to run as a company, right? And so, again, you remember yesterday we were talking about possible cabinet portfolios and assignments, et cetera, and I gave a name. And the reason I gave that name is because I think you need the kind of business acumen in places like BPL to prevent all of the political wrangling. Now I get it. What do you do when a prime minister tells you to discontinue your disconnection policy, right? I've often long said that, you know, for people that say, or for people that tell me that we have a load shedding issue in New Providence, I never thought we had that problem. I think we have a bill collecting issue. And I think that if you allow people to run up their bill, they are going to run it up.
I don't think that that's the case everywhere. And I hate when people say that. I think sometimes we look at things through our lens and through our experiences, which is normal and which is fine, which is what most people do. I do it too. I look at life through my experiences and through my lens. But I don't think that everybody is out there running up their bill and just not paying it. I think that there are people who generally cannot afford to pay the light bills. We act like it's so cheap. Even with whatever discount the government is saying or whatever rate or whatever fuel, we still have some of the most expensive light in the region.
Sure.
And some people just cannot afford it.
Sure, but we have to also consider the way or the type or how we choose to live lives, right? And the Prime Minister got quite a bit of flack for saying that a couple of months back when he said that, you know, your expenses are hinged to your behavior. That is true.
Not necessarily.
No, it is true because what I spend a month, right? It's probably what you spend a month.
That's why I say not
with all of
necessarily.
this fashionable stuff. I probably can't afford this. What I am saying though is, I think that there are basic utilities and comforts that people have to become accustomed to, just as adults, kind of paying for and being sure that you stay ahead of the curve about it. Am I saying that you're going to have zero bills? I'm not that naive. What I am saying, though, is, I mean, a lot of times they continue to try to operate BPL with a level of welfare associated with it, and I'm just not sure if that's how you run a corporation.
I also don't, it's not how you run a private corporation, but if it's something that is attached to the government, which it has been for a very long time, and government still has a hand in it, because as long as the government have to pay subsidies and have to help them continue to stay, the government is going to have a hand in it. I do not like the argument that a lot of people make that people just run up their bills and they live their life and they live in this lavish life and they just don't pay their bills. That may be the case for some people, right? But it's not the case for everyone. There are people out there that are literally struggling, that have to choose every day what they're going to spend their last $50 on. Should they give the children a lunch to go to school? Should they put something on BPL? Does it even matter if we put something on BPL because it ain't enough anyway and they still could turn me off? Do I have to pay my water bill? Do I need internet? Do I need cable? Do I need to eat food? Like, there are people out there that are struggling, that are living day to day, and light is one of the most expensive bills.
And I'm saying to you, right, hear me, I agree. Light bill can sometimes become worrisome when I look at what the bills are.
Rivaling with some people mortgage.
Yes, but in the same breath of air, while I get two things can be true, right? I think that if one thing is true, then it must have some effect on the other thing. And what we know is that this administration has taken unemployment down to, I think, single-digit numbers, around 8%, or in some cases, maybe even 7.5%, depends on who you're asking. What we do know is that this economy has had major gains. There's been major gains in this economy. From my own personal interactions with the economy, I will tell you what I've noticed. There is an unprecedented amount of U.S. currency floating around on this island, which means that the economy is at full steam. How is it that we have record level low unemployment, increases in things like the minimum wage and social benefits? We have an economy that is performing, I think, 2% higher than what it is we had anticipated it would be. Yet somehow people still say they're drowning.
Let me tell you why people say they're drowning. Even though people are employed, the amount of money that they're being paid is not enough to catch up with their bills. Let's just talk about the normal general bills that people have to pay, right? Mortgage, well, not even mortgage, because most people can't even afford to save the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to buy a house. So let's do rent, right? Back then, I remember when I first moved out of the house and I thought I was grown and I wanted to pay rent. I was living in a 3-bedroom townhouse and I was paying $900. You cannot find a 1-bedroom efficiency in the ghettoest places in this country for $900 anymore. So now rent is $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, right? So half of your money already going just to live to pay somebody else. Groceries are expensive. So let's not act like just because minimum wage went up or government gave people increases of $50 a year or $20 a month or whatever it is still enough to cover expenses. The average person probably spending $300, $400 in the food store. Then you giving BPL another $300, $400. Then you have to pay the water and sewage. Water and sewage is what, every couple of months?
Every 3 months.
But I think most people in apartments, I don't think they have to pay water. I think it's included, right? Gas is expensive. Like, living in this country is expensive. So whether or not, it's not about not having a job, it's the fact that, yes, you have a job, and I'm grateful for my job, but the amount of money that I'm being paid just is not enough to make me live. Like, I can't live properly.
But what I also see just in the society is this is the most festivals I've ever seen. We have a festival for everything now. They're very well attended. You see, they just had what did they? I Shall Not Want the other day. I didn't even know that much people just listen to I Shall Not Want. Bahamians obviously have disposable income.
A lot of people do not have disposable incomes. You cannot talk about people who go in to concerts and who have that disposable income with the same people that you're talking about who cannot afford to pay their bills.
I just don't want BPL to turn into a social...
And I get that.
A social arm of the government.
I'm not disagreeing with you with that, but I'm sure that there's a way that we can see it. You could see, right, that, let's just say, Sani could pay a bill. Every time we turn it off, the next day, that $700 has come without a blink. You know she have it. She just probably didn't want to pay it or forgot or whatever. But then you have leave-in. leaving bill get turned off for $125. He come crying with the 10 children behind him saying, I don't have it. I only have the $20. I only have the $25. Obviously, there's a big difference between those two people.
Sure.
Right? My priorities may be completely different from the other person's priority. I'm just saying it could be on a case-by-case basis.
But at some point, particularly as the world heats up with the temperature that we now see happening in the geopolitical arena, right? At some point, we're going to have to make the case that we have to begin to practice austerity with the way we do energy. And I'm just saying that it isn't fair, right? It just isn't fair for everybody to be burning the same fuel sources trying to extend social welfare when there are people that are actually paying. Right, so what's going to eventually happen?
For our light bills to be so high, maybe if you really cared about us, we would have solar. I mean, we have sun 24/7, solar panels. Maybe we could find other ways to make the light bills cheaper. I mean, there are other things that we can do, but you can't just say, Sani have to pay it because she used it when it's one of the most expensive in the region.
Yeah. And, you know, Jesus told us the poor we will have with us always. But what I am trying to make you abundantly aware of, Sani, is that at some point, if governments are serious about fixing the problems that have become, I mean, institutional almost for BPL. BPL has problems built into the foundation of it.
I don't disagree with you.
And every time it begins to find its way out of the woods, we begin to do more social service with it. I'm just not sure that is prudent. And over time, we all end up toting more of the burden.
It doesn't sound like that's what they're saying now. It sounds like what they're saying now is they have somehow found a way to decrease the light bills. I didn't hear anything about any social programs.
No, but he talked about reconnections. Are those people that have been reconnected actually paying their bills? Are those people...
But my thing is, it's very difficult. If you reconnect because I couldn't pay $150 and then you ask me to pay, moving forward, 50% of my old bill plus my new bill, which is the $150 plus the $75, I don't have it.
And in a time where oil is becoming a scarcity, I say let Sani live with no light.
Oh goodness, we'll be right back after this.
Because soon directly we won't have oil, and then my light bill could be going up because Sani don't want to live.
Eye on the Nation will be back right after these messages.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller.
I'm Sandy Brown. You want to wrap that up, or are we just moving on from it?
Can we agree?
No.
Oh boy. Are you telling me we're not gonna agree that in a time when
No,
oil
you just
is
say they must
becoming
turn
scarce?
my light off, so we'll never agree.
I just don't think you should have light if you weren't like paying yours, Auntie.
But light is not just the, we're getting back into that.
And in a
conversation.
time
We're
when
coming off
Donald
of it.
Trump got people hiding their oil, I think that if BPL having an oil scarcity issue, I don't want BPL.
They didn't say it though. They literally said that they don't.
Yes, they don't have
said
one
that they have
today.
enough.
I know
They
these
say we
niggas
good.
very well.
They
They
say
don't
we
have
good.
an oil shortage today. But if this war continues to go on into October, November, they can say, oh boy, we only didn't have an oil shortage because it was election.
But the thing is, the election could be gone by then.
That's my point.
Yeah, ain't nothing else you can do. So
I want y'all to stop burning the oil on the people who ain't paying. Because if you get the people who ain't paying the oil when the oil is in massive quantities, it means that when the oil get in scarcity, you all have to go buy more, and now my bill is gonna shoot up by $100, all because we was trying to give Sonny some light who wasn't paying the bill.
Because I couldn't pay the bill. That's the difference. And we had a conversation off air, and then we can talk about this, and then we can move on because we have a lot of other stuff on the line for you guys, right? And be honest now, because you agreed with me. A lot of people like to say Bahamians' priorities are mixed up, and some people are. Some people's priorities are absolutely mixed up, right? They will rather go shopping and borrow money to go to Florida and do whatever than take the responsibilities and pay for their bills. But when people say, oh, I see people, he say he didn't have no money, but even in a bar, he only had $30.
Yeah.
He owed a landlord $2,000.
Yeah, ain't not the
It didn't make no
$30.
sense giving that $30 to the landlord. I might as well take that $30, get me a drink, because when I go home and tell the woman I have no money, she could cuss me out and I can need to be, zen.
When Dr. Minister told the tenant to not pay me, every time I go by my apartment, the tenant would be outside with him and his friends having a grill out. They didn't have no money for rent.
They had money for rent, but
they
had a meat package from Balfour Meat Mart, so it was cheaper.
They was having themselves a little get together every time I've been there.
But I also am of the belief that I do not believe that we were put on this earth to just work and pay bills. I feel like people should have some sort of, listen, take your little $20, take your little $30.
Bill first. But you pay that one.
Put something on it.
And that's the one thing I like about the light bill. Let me tell you something.
No. You have to put a certain something on it.
No, that's because you can't learn how to trick the cycle yet.
Oh,
you got to learn how to trick the cycle. So you make sure every 5th and every 18th, you just carry BPL 50. So every time the computer look for money, the computer can see money. They're never going to turn you off.
$100 of my bill was $700 and something.
You just keep hitting them with one. Hit them with one. Matter of fact, I set my bank account up to auto pay them. Hit them with one.
The views and opinions, do not do that, because this man will have you all in darkness.
Yeah, hit them with one. They ain't coming. Every time they go to send the disconnecting fella, BPL can say, oh no, we can't disconnect him. We just saw a payment. I'm telling you, that's the best way to get away.
The views and opinions, ignore. Someone said if you do the study, you will find the very same people you see in the web shop every day are the same people who are on social services and other social
Well, how did they find it? Did they do the study?
Come to the aid of destitute individuals. I ain't gonna lie, some people, this may sound very strange, but some people do that to make money. Like, to them, that is a source of income. They only have $20 and they needed $300, so they could take that 20 and try to turn that 20 into $300. I am not one of them.
Yeah.
I am the type of person, if I lose $5, my chest get hot.
Yeah.
Like, I get angry. I get tight. I'm not one of those who could, you know, I've had conversations with people who is, yeah, man, I just gambled off $2,000. Who?
Yeah. No, if I lose $2,000, I have to sleep wherever that happens.
How much?
No, wherever that happens, I sleeping right there.
$5, my chest get hot. I can't breathe. I need to sit down. Like it just doesn't work for me. I'm not one of those people. But sadly, we do live in a country where people do that, and that is a source of their income.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there are some people like what they like, right? And so there are some people that will have no other vice except for this vice, and that's the one that they pick. I don't get in people in their vices. If that's the thing that is make you feel titillated, you have at it.
As long as you pay your bills.
Just make, because I want y'all to know, oil is getting scarce.
Oh, jeez.
And so when the oil start to get scarce, I don't want them doing things like running out of oil because they was giving it to people who couldn't afford. Do you know I felt the same way about COVID? Listen to me.
I wanted to finish this conversation.
When COVID was at the flashpoint, remember when everywhere you go, it was COVID. They tell me, say, oh, you can't go this place. You can't go that place because, you know, COVID out there. Ooh, all right? No problem. And I told them, they tell me that the hospital say they short of oxygen. The hospital short of free oxygen. Yeah.
You know what?
When I pull up with my card, the one with the good insurance on it. How old y'all say mama is? 89. Jesus was looking for her little while. Unhook the oxygen and bring it over here for the people with the insurance.
Leave it. We changing the subject.
I want you to disconnect, mama.
We moving.
Next
if it was your mama, you would have had a problem, though. You sitting there bragging about how, so I should die because I don't have insurance.
I want you to die because you don't have insurance, but guess what? I want to die with insurance. That makes sense? Imagine they writing my obituary and he had insurance.
That's what they're writing your obituary.
I don't know. I could be dead. And next thing you know, they say, oh, he had insurance, but he wanted to let Mama Ethel live, and so he didn't let them unplug Mama Ethel immediately and tell them what?
The views and opinions. Can we move on? Because we're supposed to be moving on from this.
Mama
I don't know how we get talking about Mama. You sit here and brag about the fact that
put gone too soon on a t-shirt like Mama ain't 90. Mama 90!
And y'all are no better in the back there. Y'all are no better in the back there.
On her car, I reached. And I'm not joking with this. Soon as the ambulance pulled me up, because you know oxygen can be in the ambulance. When I get inside the thing, I say, well, Mama Errol, let's unhook that. I know she don't have no insurance. People with insurance reach.
First of all, how you know Mama Ethel don't have insurance? Second of all, you sat here and you bragged about the fact that your grandparents lived to be 100 and something.
Right.
One of your grandfathers 100 and something, right? So imagine your 100-year-old grandfather in the hospital right now going in there. You trying to tell me if it's life or death, you and your 100-year-old grandfather in there, you could tell them, you younger, you probably could withstand the COVID. You could tell them, kill your 100-year-old grandfather just so you could live. You won't even die. You won't even die because you're young. You won't gonna die, but you must take the oxygen from him.
My brother, when it's oxygen needing time, I think all the people with the insurance.
Y'all please stop laughing because I'm trying to be serious.
Hey, what you want me to do if the hospital don't have no more free oxygen? I can say
the oxygen is not free. Everybody has to pay for it.
I know, that's why I come to pay for mine.
We're moving on.
I come to pay for my oxygen. I'm gonna pop off this thing and try to bring this oxygen over. What? Man, and so all I'm saying is...
No, I don't want to hear anything else. You are on timeout for the next 5 minutes. Time out.
Okay.
Turn that off.
I tell you one thing.
Turn the mic off, and he is on timeout for the next 5 minutes. There's certain things you know, but you don't say. You know, there's certain things you are sure is happening, but you don't say it.
Okay.
That's one of the things you just don't say.
Okay. I want to unsay. I want to unsay we can hook Mama Ethel.
Could you? Y'all talking about that laughing. Could y'all just turn his mic off for a minute?
My brother.
Because we're moving on from that. I don't even know how we get. Thank you.
I reach no more free oxygen. Free oxygen over, son. Live and reach. What? Man, for Christ's sakes. What else are we talking about?
Yes, because I'm ready to move on. Yeah. Can we move on?
Let's move. What are we talking about now?
How?
Oh, boy.
How? And y'all, okay. Anyway. So something else that was making the round on the news today. It's not funny. I feel like I can't even move on to a serious story no more because all I'm thinking about is them poor Mother Edel, man. Come on. I can't.
Why Mother Edel grandchildren sitting here without no insurance? What kind of grandchildren
you
is
know
this?
she ain't had no. We ain't doing it. You know what? You keep trying to take me down this road.
I know who pulled up here with the insurance. Leave it.
Anyway, a story that was making its rounds on social media today that is quite common in the Bahamas, by the way. And people are upset about it, but I don't know what it is that we can do about it. It's a conversation that's had. And the conversation always comes up about, anytime you hear stories about this and you read the comments, it really sickens me to my core, some of the things that grown men and women say about young children. But I'm going to read pieces of the story and then y'all can understand what it is that we're talking about. Okay, so a Defense Force Marine now, he's on trial after he was accused of having an illegal sexual relationship with a child that he met on Instagram. First of all, I don't like the illegal sexual relationship. That child was 12 when he met her, when they began having sex, and he was 24.
Wow.
24 and 12. There was nothing consensual about that. You can't even say relationship because that was a child.
Sure.
Right? If they're old enough to vote, drink, drive, or sit, but Sandy died already. He had a lot. My dad?
No, Dad was no hospital. Was you trying to keep alive?
Anyway, I'm not reading those comments anymore.
But he no insurance of himself.
Could y'all stop? I'm trying to be serious. So prosecutors say that the relationship, I don't know why they keep saying relationship. The relationship between, I'm not going to call his name, even though y'all could look up and see it, who's 24 and began with a 12-year-old girl and ended after the police caught them together. He's facing 5 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a person under 14. He denied the allegations. Now, the girl who was 15, she testified that she met him on Instagram after she graduated from grade 6. This how much grade she was 6. 12 years old. And she said he met her on Instagram and she told him that she was 11. And they had the conversations and he said, okay, well, let's get this my WhatsApp number. No.
Okay.
This is my WhatsApp number. Message me on WhatsApp. So then they began messaging each other on WhatsApp. And apparently they started seeing each other. She said that her and this grown man had sex every day up until they were caught from 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
The day they were caught, they said that he picked her up from her home while her mother was out and took her to a church where they had sex. She said her mother was home when Miller brought her back. So she's like, call the man name. But you know, when the man came back, and so they drove off. Mom followed them and saw them. Called the police. The police found them near a high school, and that's how he ended up being charged with having unlawful sexual intercourse with this 12-year-old girl.
Okay.
I want to know. See, and then the comments under it is what really caused me to want to have a conversation about it because I don't know what it is about the Bahamas where we automatically go to, she's a fast little girl, or she's a child, babe. Like, I don't care if she was sending him nude photos on Instagram every day. That is a grown 24-year-old man that should have known better. That should have known. I saw a story on Facebook where this guy said this young girl was messaging him, and when he found out she was a child, he found her mother on Facebook, sent the messages to her that the child was sending to her, and was like, this is what your 12-year-old or whatever-year-old is doing on social media. Why is it that we automatically say the girl fast or she doing this, and we don't place the blame on the big grown man where it needs to be?
Well, you certainly can't ask. You certainly can't ask the child to account because it is a child, right? But there is one thing in that story that stands out to me. They said that this chap had sex with this girl every day for a period that sounds to be somewhere around 10 months. Is that what I understand?
It seems like.
How you let your 12-year-old out of your sight every day for a year?
It sounded like she was going to work.
No one know?
It sounded like she was going to work. That's what it sounded like. They said mom was home. So it sounded like they used to have their whatever.
Yeah.
So now we blaming mommy?
I'm blaming her. I'm just, here's what. So I always tell you about something called the crime triangle, right? Crimes of opportunity only occur when the crime triangle can be formed. That is where you have a motivated assailant. So we have a fellow who obviously is a pedophile. We have a person fitting the profile of the kind of crime he likes to commit. So you have a motivated offender, you have a valuable asset, which is the child, and then you have a less than capable guardian, which is the mummy, right? And I'm saying to you, how are we having these social issues where a child can go missing every day for 10 months and no one understands, knows the whereabouts of the child, sees something about that just sounds impractical to me.
I agree, and it goes back to what we were talking about. I can't remember when, like I say, all these days are now rolling into one. It goes back to when we were talking about, it used to be a village taking care of your kid, and so when mothers and fathers had to go to work, you could tell the neighbor or the Grammy or the uncle or the brother to keep an eye on leaving, keep an eye on Sani, make sure that they're okay.
Sure.
Or sometimes they just used to leave the kids in the house and say, don't open a door for anybody.
Right.
But times have changed. People don't trust the neighbor anymore because the neighbor might be the one touching the kid. People don't trust the grandfather anymore because as these same sorts of stories that we see in the papers and on the news every day, it's relatives also doing stuff to the kids.
Yeah.
So then the conversation, and it goes back to what we're saying, I have to work.
I
right?
agree. And listen,
I have to work. I have to go to work. I don't have anybody else to watch her. I'm thinking that she's 12 and she'll be able to not date a 24-year-old man. I don't know, but what am I supposed to do? I'm just asking, what am I supposed to do?
Because for me as a parent, there has to be checks and balances, right? I have children. I don't see them every day, right? And so you could easily argue that, do you always know where your children are? No, I don't know where they are in this very moment. What I do know, though, is that I'm not going to let 10 months worth of time pass by before something as intrusive as sex happening in the mind of a minor, because you realize that causes psychological issues, which then displays itself in behavior.
I agree.
How is it that no one is detecting this for 10 months?
Now, the thing that I said was, I can't imagine. Okay, somebody said these children need to have phones. But see, in today's day and age is different with phones. Because a lot of these kids now have phones too because they grow up in different houses from the parents, right? So they have a phone where they could contact daddy or they could contact mommy because mommy and daddy don't get along. And if daddy called mommy phone, she ain't gonna answer. And if mommy called daddy phone, they don't answer. So a lot of kids are getting phones younger and younger now to be able to communicate that way.
Sure.
Some parents also give their kids phones in case of emergency and things happen, they'll be able to
I also gave my son a phone because I don't want him to grow up as a Neanderthal. I want my son to be able to move with the technology.
To have a phone. Now,
Right.
there are certain things that I do not think that a 12-year-old needs Instagram. I do not think that a 12-year-old should be on social media.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
But do
I
you-
don't
but
feel
do
like
you-
you need
but
to
do
be.
you- but do you-
I don't
do
feel
you-
like a 12-year-old should be on Instagram or have social media.
But do you consume content, right? Because there's a little girl that is from London who has her own Instagram page. I think she names Dolly or Debbie or something like that. I think she's a hit.
But she's doing it for content. That is her job,
But I'm
right?
saying-
If your child is a content creator, then that is something completely different.
Right.
They be sitting on the phone, because children is sit down and watch other children play with toys and
Sure.
stuff. That is different. Your child is not a content creator. So let's
Again-
not act like you give them that and you set up a whole stage for them to be able to make money. They on there laughing and watching YouTube most of the times or
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
But you do have some kids who are more, let me see if I can find a word. They grow up a little faster, right? And they want to have the Instagram and they want to have the Facebook. And I just don't think that TikTok, Instagram, and any sort of social media, you 12, you don't need it. What you
But
need
there
it
are
for?
countries now that are
They have banned
putting
them.
They have banned it based on age restrictions. But I'm saying, I mean, the way of the world. You know, there was a time when we used to credit people for being welders and steel plant workers and roofers, and today a fella making Instagram videos could make $1 million a year.
I agree. Not here, but yeah.
It's because we're living in a time, y'all wouldn't have enough children so the population could be big enough so we could charge everybody $1 and make $1 million. But again,
who could take care of all of these children? Y'all,
you-
you already don't want the people pay the light bill, but continue.
But I'm saying, Sonny, there are some adults. I think that we have to charge some other adults with this. Listen to me, Commander of the Defense Force. I want you to scorch his back right up, hit him in the back of his neck if he is in fact guilty.
Well, I mean, they have the messages. They have the. It seems like the police caught him with the girl.
But a man ought to be draped in his innocence and tell.
It was
proven
caught.
otherwise
He
by
was
a jury
caught.
of his peers.
Okay.
Yeah, but we think of them had voice now. We sent all the way to Scotland Yard for them to tell us this wasn't them. Stranger things have happened. And I'm not condoning in any way, because big man don't play with children.
With children. I don't even understand what it is that a big grown 24-year-old man would see in a 12-year-old child.
All I'm saying, though, is I think that there are some other charges in the penal code that some adults should be carrying in this story.
Like?
Failing to report or negligence.
But how would I know? Okay, this is... And I'm not making excuses for the mother. I do not know the situation. I do not know anybody personally. Before anybody says anything, I have no idea. But I also like to look at things from other angles as well. From the little part that I read in the story, it was like mom was at work, right? And it did seem like she was proactive, because when she came home from work and the first thing she noticed was that the child was gone. She was obviously proactive enough to see a car pull up, see a child, and the car pull off, to call the police and be like, my child XYZ, for the police to be able to catch them, right? I'm not saying I don't know what the situation is, but if someone is found to be negligent, yes. But let's not just be throwing out stuff and hoping that it sticks because it sounds.
And I'm not talking about just throwing things out. What I am talking about, though, is if you look at the window with first of all, 2020 sounds like COVID time, yes?
Yes.
2020 sounds like the heat of COVID. Everyone should have been home. You mean with everyone home? Still nobody knows.
They say she went to work.
Yes.
No. They started talking in 2020 and they started seeing each other in 2021. The world opened back up.
Still going on
the world had opened back up.
Only Brave opened it up fast. Minnesota's inside until September.
No. It began in 2021, and ended in 2023.
And when was he caught? 23? Okay, so 2021, part of that was COVID.
This was the end part. COVID already gone. You can't blame COVID on this no more. I know you want to blame COVID for everything.
No, but I'm saying,
COVID, the COVID done gone.
But you know, people were unemployed for like 18 months up to the end of COVID. I'm just trying to figure out how did this whole community. You remember I talked about...
Everybody don't have a community anymore, Lee.
Man, but where these people live in the Wellfield.
I'm just saying everybody doesn't have I had a community, so I understand what you're saying, and you probably have a community. But everybody don't have a community. Sometimes when these girls get pregnant, their parents put them out the house and they're on their own. Sometimes they live in areas and they do not know their neighbor, or they cannot trust their neighbor. And so some people are literally living in a bubble, raising kids on their own. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
My reality may just be blind to that. What I am saying, though, is I cannot fathom a 12-year-old girl can't. Unless she's from Mars Island, she can't be taller than 4 foot, right?
No, some of these kids are. I don't know if it's a chicken or something. Some of these kids look very grown and very mature.
Which community is a 12-year-old child getting into a private vehicle and no one from the neighborhood says anything?
Because people mind their business. Okay, no, people mind their business these days. I also remember doing a story before too, where a young girl got in trouble or whatever, and Grammy said she used to see the little girl getting in the car. Grammy went over to the neighbors and say, "Hey, this little girl XYZ, the man tried to fight her and tell her mind their business." Everybody is not receptive to people telling them things about their children.
So you know who you can tell? Shanta.
And I have to live there. So when you tell Shanta, you tell the police and there's no proof and there's no evidence, and I don't call the police on my neighbor. Now I have to live there and see my neighbor every day. You don't know what that person is going to do to me. It is very easy to say it until you live in it.
I remember the chap that got caught with the schoolgirl in his house. Again, caught by the police. Full blown in the throes of passion. It is because the community decided that we are not surrendering our community. You know who called the police for him? Because he wasn't calling no police. He was too busy diddling this little girl. But the people in the community realized that this is a school-age girl that is coming here during school hours every day. I just don't understand, how does something carry this long?
I do not disagree with you. I'm not saying that. And someone says, Sandy, that's 2 years. I understand that is 2 years. I'm not giving him, I'm not letting the parents off on this at all. I'm just saying that everybody does not have a community. That's all I'm saying. Everybody does not have a community.
We can't agree on that.
Everybody doesn't have a community.
We can't agree on that.
But I honestly, I started all of this to say I just don't like the discussion that always happens around it, because it seems like we always blame the child. You know, or she was texting him back. She's a child.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what she's a child.
I don't care if she followed the sky. She shouldn't land on your penis.
She's a child.
What I am saying is...
Wow, okay, that went that.
My point is, you can't... There's no excuse you could give me for why you was having sexual intercourse...
With a child.
With a minor.
Agreed.
Right?
That's a child. Don't even say minor. That's a child.
What I am also saying is that... You know, adults have to protect children. You know, whenever people, like I saw someone one day going to beat a child for, I think, spilling the bleach or whatever, and I told them, I won't beat you. Because the bottle says, keep out of reach of children, not children don't touch. Adults have a fiduciary responsibility to protect children.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm also saying that sometimes in some of these communities, people just don't want to get in. People mind their business. They will see you getting beat in the middle of the street, and they will mind their business. They're just sometimes people are just terrified. If I go now and I say something now, and you don't believe me, or the child say it ain't no true, or I call the police or whatever it is, now I'm unfair.
Sure.
You know, so
but whatever happened to our social norms, Sani? Because socially norm. In the Bahamas, the social normality is, the rule is, no women, no children.
I agree.
We don't let our violence touch our women. We don't let it touch our children. And whenever it does, it doesn't matter the connection, the association, or the nexus. The community protects the child. The community protects the woman. Beat up a random woman right now by the 6-leg roundabout and watch random people get out of their vehicle and come to...
It doesn't happen like that all the time, though. I'm just saying, it doesn't. But anyway...
You're moving Engliston here?
We can't... Everybody's not a community. Community aren't communities
don't
anymore.
Pick up children on Mini Street because you are not going to make it to prison. We will not hand over this community to you all.
Anyway, speaking about domestic violence and what you were talking about and protecting women and children, I think we have a clip of it. The Commissioner of Police, she was talking about domestic violence and the rise of domestic violence in the country. We're going to play that and then we could continue the conversation.
Let's go to the clip.
Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force monitoring some heightened reports of domestic violence, but what is even more alarming is instances of accusers asking for their cases to be dropped.
We cannot coerce anyone not to make that request of the courts. Our job is to look out for the safety of everyone. And so if that is the desire of a victim to...
Well, all right, we're going to have to take a break. We'll come back with that clip after. All right.
What I tell them to do?
Send her to jail. We'll be back right after this.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them. Hedges, you know, you just do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
Would we be walking back? That Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying to
he also
say. Well, I don't even know what red basket anymore either. What do y'all even say?
It's time for Quick Draw. Get out your tickets now. We're playing Quick 2, 3, and 4. Good luck!
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller.
I'm Sandy Brown. We were reading some of the comments that you guys have. I guess I'll read some before we go to the other story that we were talking about. Somebody asked, I am new here, but are you two husband and wife?
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we regret to inform you.
It's a no.
Hey. I think I'd be a terrible husband, but...
Absolutely.
No,
someone said...
I'm a great guy. I'm just not a good husband.
Okay.
Especially in the Bahamian context of husband. Cause
Let me know when you finish talking so I can finish reading the
Bahamian context of wife is mummy 2.0. All these wives just want to be your mummy.
Whew.
Anyway.
Musa, Levan, you saying a man innocent until proven guilty, but he shouldn't even have that child in his car. That child could be walking with no clothes on. That shouldn't thrill no man. Agreed.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying
Sandy, that's 2 years for someone to go unnoticed. Agreed. Parents need to pay more attention to their kids, check their phones. Someone said they liked a victim playing in the Bahamas calling children fresh. If emotional was a person, it's definitely Sandy. Oh! Wow. I love emotional.
She's a creature of emotion.
You were emotional too. That's what I don't understand. But I guess because a man, you literally had a whole rant about tit them and thing, and then the other day you had a rant about thing. But when you do it, it's cool. But when I do it, I'm emotional. Y'all love to attach these emotional words to women, but this is just as emotional as me. Yes.
I applied my logic in the COVID case. People with money should have the air, and people who don't have the money should give up the air would cost money. That's logic.
Anyway, before we get back to the clip that we were talking about, don't forget, conveniently located on Balfour Avenue and Charles Vincent Street, Balfour Consumer Meat Mart always has fresh produce and meat with great grocery prices and unique items you will not find anywhere else. So they offer 5 different meat packages for every budget, even a 7-day Adventist package. They have clean, organized, and a welcoming environment with a friendly and helpful staff. You can order by phone, WhatsApp them at 544-1515. Give them a call at 328-4702, and there's free shipping to customers on the Family Islands. Freshness, value, and service, all at Balfour Consumer Meat Mart. Now, one more day.
Oh, yeah, before we pick up our meat.
Pick up, he said he's delivering.
Oh, yeah, our meat coming.
That man said he's going to deliver me a meat package. I've never had anyone deliver me meat before.
All right.
I mean, but...
Are you preparing our meat?
He said he was bringing meat for me.
Oh, boy.
Ow. Anyway, can we play let's go back to the commissioner. Ow.
Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force monitoring some heightened reports of domestic violence, but what is even more alarming is instances of accusers asking for their cases to be dropped.
We cannot coerce anyone not to make that request of the courts. Our job is to look out for the safety of everyone. And so if that is the desire of a victim to request that a matter be dismissed, then it's up to the courts to look at the evidence and determine if this person is acting in their own good faith, in good faith of the community, and in, of course, good faith of those who are before the courts charged. And
Meantime, Bahamas Crisis Center founder Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson says women tend to drop cases out of fear that their children won't have a present father, and more commonly because they want to believe that perpetrators will change. A 3-day domestic violence workshop concluding today on Grand Bahama to address an uptick in cases there. Dean Patterson, a keynote speaker, and worries about the children that witness these disputes, as statistics indicate that boys that do are likely to become perpetrators and girls the victims.
The numbers of unreported people who don't talk about it are even greater than the reported. And we're grateful that the police have established a domestic violence unit, and I think that's made a difference. But a woman will leave 7 times before she leaves for good, because she keeps hoping that it'll get better, that he'll, you know, and you see, you need to understand the cycle of violence that occurs. Because once you have the anger and the violence and the explosion and the fighting and the choking and all of that, the next stage is the honeymoon, when the perpetrator who does this violence will say, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it." And so sometimes that's what causes women who are victims.
And how much sorry you plan to take before you stop taking slap in your eye?
She literally just said it takes a woman an average of 7 times before they leave. It's not as easy.
You ever get slapped in your eye?
It's not as easy as some people make it seem, especially when there's children involved and especially when finances are involved. If I'm in the house and the man is taking care of me and he's taking care of the bills, and I go to the police and I report it because, you know, he abused me, and then I think about it because I'm not in that state anymore. Now I'm like, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to take care of my kids? My friends already turned their back on me because they told me to leave this man years ago when I didn't listen. My parents already turned their back on me because they also did the same. What am I supposed to do?
You can't eat cake and have cake. At some point, you have to decide whether you want to eat this cake or have this cake.
It's not as easy as a lot of people think. And it's easy for people to talk about what they would do when they are in an abusive situation if they have never been in an abusive situation.
Pain is a universal thing, correct? And how much pain should you have inflicted upon you before your brain responds to something that the world universally understands as a bad thing? That, listen, the first time he slapped you, it might have just been a trigger response. I'm saying to you that when you get slapped the second time, pain is pain.
I understand that. And what I'm saying to you is in that moment, that woman might say, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm packing up my stuff. I'm leaving because she is in pain. She can physically see the pain on her eye, the bruises on her body. But then she goes into the room. She goes to sleep. Something happens. He comes back the next day with the flowers and the gifts and the I'm sorry's. And then she remembers that this man takes care of her, or he takes care of the bills, and the children are there, and he doesn't hurt the children, and he's a good father, and she doesn't want to send him to jail. Because if she sends him to jail, who's going to take care of her? These are real questions that people have. And like I said, it is very easy to sit there and say a woman should leave, or a man, because as you pointed out last week, men get abused too. There was a story.
They get jerk up. See, and I hear Sandra Dean Patterson.
And
I typically don't listen now, but I'm saying these.
Yeah, because you hate women.
No, I don't hate women. I feel like they rage bait.
I'm also, it's not rage bait if it's the truth.
Let me tell you why I think it is rage bait.
I think you rage bait me, but I think you rage bait me every day, and I keep falling for it. But
you say, oh, women stay through the abuse to protect the women and the children. We have seen over and over and over in the newspaper where the man, she assuming that through whatever rubric she draw up. We've seen in the newspaper where the man say, please don't send the mother of my children to jail.
But we talking about apples and oranges. We talking about what happens with women when they're abused versus what happens with men when they're abused.
And I'm asking where they pulling these fantasy pieces of information
They're not pulling
from?
fantasy pieces of information. This is information and data that they have collected from the crisis center.
Sure.
Now, from women who go there and women who they actually help. So it's not something that they make up. So I'm not going to let you sit here and call it fantasy.
I'm making it up. I'm saying, how do we discredit people that testify before the courts, just as recent as last week, saying, my brother, Man, please, I love this woman.
Yeah, but we're
the boy who gets called up with the grits, the fella say, if you all send her to jail, where I can go, because I love this woman.
I'm not discrediting that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying those are two different things that we're talking about. We're talking about a man who doesn't want to press charges because somehow in his head he thinks that she threw grits on him and it's his fault because he cheated, is completely different from a woman getting her head punched off and she don't want press charges because she's financially dependent on a man. That's what I'm saying. And I won't let you sit here and say that the crisis center is making up stats or just because
Not
you
making
don't,
up stats.
because you call it fantasy.
I understand
You
the way
call it
research
fantasy.
works, and if you look for a thing, it will appear. It's like looking
it's
for
not
yellow
looking for a
cards.
thing. If somebody goes to them for help, which a lot of them do, and you have to give places like the crisis center their kudos because they take care of women when our society does not. When people turn their back on these women, the crisis center takes care of these women.
And I think the society would be poorer without them. Fine.
Exactly. So then just take back the little fantasy part back.
I want them to end this rapacious exercise against men, though, where somehow they continue to act as though we are not out here being abused. And
I'm not saying that.
And see, because
Nobody
when the shoe was
said
on
that.
the other foot, when the shoe was on the other foot, somehow we gloss over it. These man getting juck up. The level of violence being offered against men in the name of, well, he could take it. Or I actually know people of Couth who chuckle over the fact that, but you know, that gal just came up and he still ain't leave.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but we are talking about two different things. You're advocating for men and I'm advocating for women.
Sure.
And I'm glad that you are advocating for men. And I hope all the men out there who are being abused will come forward and talk about their abuse so that their stats can also be combined with the crisis center stats and then we can have some stats.
If you pull a knife on me, we cooking so Saturday.
You have people like this who say a good cut, you know what, is what these women need. You see how hard Sandy Mount is. This is the kind of things that you have people saying.
But I disagree with that kind of behavior.
No, but I'm just saying this is the kind of behavior that we have in this country where men think that because a woman has an opinion or her mouth may be hard, that she need that. That's not even funny to me. It's not a joke to me. I could laugh at most things in here, but that is not funny to me. It's not funny.
And I don't think that, but can we agree here? Violence ought not be visited upon anybody.
Agreed, men or women.
And violence should be met with force. And I say to people all the time, if someone offers you violence, offer it back to them. The reason why many people become victims, I guarantee you this, I refuse to be a victim. The reason people become victims is because they fit into the mold of the victim. Most perpetrators of crime, of any crime, are fearful of being met with force. That's the reason why when you introduce handgun carry, many people, crime in many areas go down, because even though people are prepared to visit and inflict terror, no one wants terror visited on
But you
them.
also have to understand that when men or women pick their victims of crime, they pick them for specific reasons.
Sure.
Everybody isn't brought up the same way and everybody doesn't think the same way. And a lot of these narcissists or a lot of these men and women that pick these partners who they abuse, they pick them for, they could see that they're weaker than other people. And I'm not calling them weak. I'm not calling victims weak, but there is something that these narcissists prey on. So where you may say, I would not, that's not the case for somebody else. And I don't think that we should blame the victims or we should make it seem as though there's something that they could have done when sometimes they're just in a spiral that they can't get out of.
I'm not into victim blaming. I get it. Life is difficult. Relationship is difficult.
Could we block Anthony Hutchinson?
Blamed or, beaten or unbeaten, right? Relationships are difficult. And believe it or not, in 10 years, I believe that humans are going to just opt out of it. No, I think that that's the direction the world is going in. In 10 years, they won't need to create birth control because we're going to put ourselves on the birth control of distance. And I'm saying to you, right, that for the last decade that we have left, where men and women are still trying to cohabitate, I don't know if the research that continue to make it to the public arena, I think the views on it is skewed. When I personally know the amount of people, men that have suffered abuse at the hands of women, And we all go to the watering hole and have a good little laugh about this.
And that is what the problem is. And you cannot blame places like the crisis center and say that their stats are skewed when y'all don't go and report it. If I go to the police station and I report my crime, or if I go to the crisis center and I say this is what is done to me, they will take that and they will add that to their stats. Instead of you encourage your friend who just gets spoiled with hot grits to go to the police station and file charges against that woman so we could have better stats. Y'all can sit there and y'all can laugh at him. So why don't you encourage your friend? If you want the stats to be more male-friendly, encourage him to go and place a police report. Why don't you tell him that instead of laughing at him?
I didn't laugh at him. I actually invited to take him to court with me every day dressed in a three-piece suit. I told him
So why don't you tell him go to court, press charges? Okay,
so
then you cannot blame places at the crisis center for the stats they have if the men do not want to go and report the incidents. Encourage your brothers to go and do it. Men, if you are getting abused, report it. I don't think anybody should be putting their hands on anybody. Women shouldn't be putting their hands on men, and men definitely shouldn't be putting their hands on women. We can agree on that.
I absolutely agree.
Except Anthony, who feel like women need a good...
I don't know. Maybe Anthony was raised by cave people.
I don't know. But I think that's not even funny. I know that we laugh and we kiki in the comments, and sometimes we have a little kiki on the show.
Sure.
But it's not funny. I do not take that funny. I don't take abuse of any kind funny. So, yeah.
So, in other news, I understand that there's some crazy lady that was threatening to stab her neighbors.
I don't even know why I laughed at that. It's how you say things, man.
It's true. Could you imagine your knife-wielding neighbor?
Now, see, there may have been some information in that we don't know.
Right.
Because I don't know. They say it was over parking. I gotta find the story. They say it was over parking.
Which is a very vexing issue, by the way. Parking could actually... No. And if you check it out, most domestic disputes, particularly between siblings, let me not say most, many domestic disputes that come between siblings, believe it or not, parking has a lot to do with it. Parking is a major issue.
So you think people... I think road rage is a big thing. I never knew about the parking thing. I think I had like one little row with someone about parking, and they took my parking spot, and then I just parked in the back of them until I was done because I know you saw me trying to go in there. But it didn't make me want to stab somebody.
You see this? Y'all at Noriega? Okay, Noriega.
I was pulling in, and he saw me pulling in, and he pulled in, and then he say, "Oh, I only going in for one thing." Me too.
Yeah.
I was only going in for one thing too.
You're the Mexican cartel drug boss.
I parked in the back of him because I needed to go in too, and he had to wait.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, but yeah, that is the story. But I think the part about that story, which I guess people are taking it back to the story that we talked about last week with the woman who stabbed a man and ended up only getting therapy, I think she had to go to, or counseling. I think this woman got off with a conditional discharge, which kind of irritated people, but she didn't stab anybody.
But that is how, but again, so here is my issue, right?
Okay.
I want all people that visit violence on anybody to be dealt with. Somehow, though, when men visit violence on people, they're animals and beastly and you name the adjectives, right? And then we go and we make just the most excuses for poorly socialized women. And I don't understand, when as a society are we going to realize that this isn't the sugar and spice and everything nice generation of women. Some of these women are quite barbaric. Some of them belong in a cave with no shoes.
I don't disagree with you. We have the clip. You want to hear the story?
Give me 2 more seconds. But no matter how much she transgresses, we somehow have more redemption. We somehow have more grace. And I don't understand, how is that happening?
I do not disagree with you. There are stories that I've read where women have committed some heinous acts and people seem to always make an excuse for a woman when they do it.
I want to hug you. Wow. Could you repeat that one more time?
I do not disagree.
It's just still Sunny. Did y'all send me somebody else? The woman them do what? Let's go to the clip. Let me check.
Meantime, a Cooper's Terrace woman has been placed on 1-year probation after admitting she threatened 2 neighbors with a kitchen knife during a dispute over a parking space. 30-year-old Craig Misha Alice pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assault with a dangerous instrument and 2 counts of threats of harm after confronting Tiana Ferguson and Aldrinique Ferguson on February 28th while armed with a silver-bladed kitchen knife. During her appearance before Magistrate Lennox Colby, Alice admitted to the incident, apologizing for her actions. The magistrate sentencing her to 1-year probation, warning that any breach of the order could result in a 6-month prison term.
Y'all don't take nothing in your life serious in the studio.
So I've checked, this is still sunny, by the way.
You know, I do not disagree with you. I think that we do have a culture, I don't know if it's here just in the Bahamas or around the world, where we do make excuses for women and we explain away some things that they do. Because I think it is our first nature to see women as soft and nurturing. And if a woman does something that goes against that, like, it doesn't compute to us unless there is a reason for it.
It is because I think socially we have decided that we are going to ostrich the fact that these a bunch of liquor drinking, cutlass swinging pirates. They are just not the exact kind of women our social condition told us we were going to be brought up around.
You know, a lot of women have turned harder because they've had to turn hard. I know.
This is yeah.
It's an example, but I'm not disagreeing with you because they had to. A lot of women
just
are
learn to behave better.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think you're so used to row it.
What is all this agreeing about? Wow.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I do think that we make up reasons and excuses because it goes against the norm. It goes against the norm when a woman does something that is considered to be super aggressive or commits some sort of heinous crime. It's like we cannot compute that because we see them as our mothers and our daughters and our sisters, and they're supposed to be loving and nurturing. There was a shift, and women did
stop shelling peas. The minute women stop shelling peas, women get angry. Peas was keeping you all calm.
Let me read some of the comments because if I continue to let you rage bait me,
Think about this. Mama spent all day Saturday picking peas. She ain't never saw Papa. How come?
Why is it different for a man? It shouldn't be. I wasn't saying that it was different. I think that he and I were arguing 2 completely different points. But I think we came to the agreement at the end that nobody should put their hands on anybody.
Right.
And if somebody is putting their hands on you,
I intend to slay you in the
woman,
Holy Ghost.
Go to the police and press charges.
Oh, I am about to Benny Hinn you. The police is gonna have to come and pick you up. When you come with me at the knife, I can say, touch, spider by the hand of God. Boom! Look at the power of God. Pick her back up, Brock. Pick her back up. Touch, spider by the hand of God. If you get up in here one more time, you keep getting back up. I got plenty of anointing left. I feel the, you don't know I say Chigodi. When I feel the power hit me, pick up a knife and find out how heavy the weight of the anointing is on my life. You pick it up.
Plenty of these men, I gotta just
pick up a knife.
Plenty of these men would beat women, watch their uncles and fathers beat their mothers. That's learned behavior. Let me tell you something. I know a situation. Many situations just like that. You have kids grow up and they see it, and you have 2 kids going 2 different directions. You have one son that would worship the ground and women walk on and never touch a woman, and you have another son beat their girlfriends for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So to their point, right? Where the woman them messenger? Where the woman them learning all this chucking up from? Who they see?
Boy, if Sandy Park that police, you gotta
You're
stop
right.
letting
I didn't think about that. You park this echo unit behind this poor man. He probably got a warrant. He probably gone in that store and he's having great trepidation. He said, Jesus, the police got me.
But if you have to beat a woman or a man, just leave. Once you love your mother, you shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody. Now, if you have a man, you should be willing to get hit back. Let's just agree. Everybody just keep your hands to yourself.
If you don't want to feel my anointing.
Not just even in relationships.
You think knock you down. My brother, go ahead.
I want to move on because you just give me a headache.
No, but these things, they bubble my aggression because I'm telling you, man, I don't know if. Here's what I think I want to say.
You've already said everything. There's nothing else to be said. I want to move on from this because it is 5:22.
Neighbor, don't juke up your neighbor.
Amen.
Okay.
We could all agree, nobody juke up nobody. For parking spaces, nobody in relationships, juke up nobody.
I won't park that bad. I don't care when Jesus with the houses on fire. You need to park that bad. She probably wanted to pee.
Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. We do have other things that we wanted to talk about. It was not supposed to go on for this long, y'all. It really wasn't. What was next? I can't even remember what was next. We were supposed to do for 30 minutes ago. We are 30 minutes late.
Don't worry about that.
So half of this stuff is just not going to get done.
They're here for us, you know. Yeah. You know they don't watch them other people, right?
No, the producer is absolutely upset with us right now.
Right.
So where do we want to go from here? We said we were going to do the cabinet recap, but maybe we could do that after.
Sure.
Because we already did that. So
sure.
We did want to talk about, since we did the COI, the PLP, and the FNM, we wanted to highlight some of the independent candidates. I think we have some of the photos and stuff up. Am I chatty in these too? We chatty in these?
We have to chatty everybody. So
y'all didn't even let me warm chatty up. Chatty is be wrong sometimes now. All right, hopefully chatty is warmed up. Is that how
you warm it up?
No, I wanted you to do your little Baptist thing you say you do. Do your little Baptist thing to chatty, to warm chatty up.
I tell you have to, my grandma used to heal this chat GPT in Jesus' name. Amen. Boom. That should wake, fantastically now.
But before we talk about that, I guess this is a part of it, because Dr. Minnis is running as an independent. His pre-national movement sister, because he hasn't officially resigned from the party that we know of, right?
No.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I can't tell you till we go to the break. You want to play the clip?
Yeah, let's play the clip and see what she had to say. So he could tell me why his face looked like this. The Michaela Barnett Ellis clip.
I said the more candidates in the race, the better, because it gives voters options and it forces everybody to raise their game. I think people know what they want to do. They know whether they want to support the future. They know whether they want to move forward. I don't think the shaping of the narrative that we're voting against Dr. Minnis or something like that. That's not true. I voted for Dr. Minnis every time that he was on the ballot. But I think now the discussion is, where do we want to go from here? What do we want the future to look like for Killarney?
Do you wish that he didn't make that move to run independent?
That's a serious question. I wish he didn't, but for different reasons. According to our Constitution, when you do run as an independent, it sparks a process that removes you from being a FNM and from being a member of the party. And I think that would be extremely unfortunate, because he was our leader. He was the former prime minister. And there's a legacy part of that. And so to be removed from the future of the FNM because you became an independent, I think is extremely unfortunate. I've seen when it has happened to others. And I think that, he deserves to stay on the books and to be a part of the future of the Free National Movement.
I'm listening to her. I'm listening to her. Full stop. It's perfect time to go to the break. I'm listening to her.
It's a good thing you own in our constituency. We'll be back right after this.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This a 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Fruit Dragon.
Fruit Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Have you registered to vote? Join us February 18th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at ILTV Studios on University Drive.
It's time for Quick Draw. Get out your tickets now. We're playing Quick 2, 3, and 4. Good luck!
Welcome back to Eye on the Nation.
Hello, welcome back to Eye on the Nation. I'm Levan Miller.
I'm Sonny Brown.
And where are they listening to us? You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224. That's cable. Channel 112, that's Flow. And then ILTV Studios on Facebook. Well, mister, if you say bad things about Sonny one more time, it'll be me and you. And take my word for it, it could be more me than you. Is that why guys the mode for you?
Banned. It wasn't about me. It wasn't it was the sometimes a woman.
Yes,
no, because I had to allow you to do that off air. From that man said, sometimes women need a good cut hip.
To retract. I was giving him.
You were supposed to say, who woman? You were supposed to stand up for the women.
But I'll tell you something. If a sound boy try test us.
Anyway, that person has been banned. We do, like I said, we do love to laugh with y'all and we read your comments and stuff. But just don't be disrespectful.
Oh, and you know what's interesting? Maybe the angel of death may have removed him. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, there was a woman that used to call me and case me out all the time. And apparently the angel of death has come and collected her.
It's not the fact.
That's what happened.
That's not why he was banned. He wasn't banned because he said, I need cut hip. He was banned because he say sometimes all women need cut hip. I don't care if people don't like me or they say negative things, but you ain't gonna be up on the air promoting abuse and propaganda and think that we're not standing for it.
We do not stand for that. Right.
Look in the camera and say it again.
We do not stand for that, Mabala.
All right, now we're gonna get back
You heard how I had to do my
I heard them about. I appreciate that at the end.
Yeah. No, but the truth, the angel that came and took the woman away.
You already told me the story, and we are not saying the story
When I
on
saw
air.
it in the newspaper, I said, well, come now and see the hand of the Lord. Yeah, what else you want me to say? For he's righteous in all of his doing.
I let it go, Nicola. I let it go. The people say let it go. I let it go. All right, let's get back to what what we were talking. I only brought it up because we were talking.
I'm
about
not
it during the
listening
break.
to Michael about that. Michaela, did you tell any of this to Michael Pintard?
Maybe she did. How do you know? Were you in that
Then you
meeting?
know what you could have done? You could have said, well, my brother, it ain't no way I end in this man political career. Running Kalani? No, man, Kalani, we even have more seats. We have 41 seats now. And you all nominate some people who, the only person who know them is their mommy and their cat. Because ChatGPT don't even know them. But you all nominating them. I's a big-time lawyer in a big-time law firm. Find me one seat. Be like Robin. Robin say, I even ain't asking for seat. I just telling y'all I won't run. Y'all pick the seat.
She didn't
But
say
you come-
anything to. I don't think she said anything that was disrespectful.
No.
I think she was just trying to say something that you said actually, which is kind of crazy because it kind of is in the same arena. That a man with his legacy, it's unfortunate that now that he has chose to run independent, that he will no longer be a part.
That's why I wouldn't
of
accept a
He will
nomination.
no longer be a part of the. She was asked a question and she answered, and you would sit up here and you would act like politicians are not people.
All I'm saying is...
She wants to be in Parliament. That's
think
the
she
seat
trying to
that they
Brian
gave
Ross
her.
us.
That's the
I think
seat
she
that they.
trying to Brian
Well,
Ross
it's a good
us.
thing that's my constituency and not yours. You worry about Bacchus them and the people say been in front of that tree forever, and let us in Kalani deal with them, okay?
Well, since we throwing lowness, that's why you only live in Fort Charlotte now.
Oh, why you want to do that, man?
No, you want to talk with my hole. We got one hole in the whole of South Beach, but you just want me to talk with the hole. Well, you know something? But you know Fort Charlotte
close though.
having self?
You mean in Fort Charlotte, either, sweetie?
I
You don't
didn't-
have no state of the art.
Oh, guess
You
what?
don't your state of the art gym.
Hey,
You don't have that.
hey,
Do you have
I
that?
want to tell you something. Our first property that I grew up in as a boy and still falls underneath my family's portfolio is in Fort Charlotte. You don't make me move back in Fort Charlotte.
Which area?
I grew up through Christopher Street.
Of Eleuthera. Are you from Eleuthera? Is my home. Oh, from Parental Point. That's where
But
my
you know
dad's
who
family's
don't
from.
live in Fort Charlotte? And ain't have no family interest there?
Anyway, let's go to the independents. It's already
ahead.
5:35. We were going to open up the phone lines. Are we still doing that now
Sure.
too? All right. So do y'all ready with the list of independents we have? Because I have Chatty
Well, there's
Wanda.
only 3 of them, eh? Dr. Menace.
So we're going to start with
Let's
Dr.
go with
Menace
Dr.
then?
Menace.
All right,
Easy,
let's
that's
start with
the
Dr.
most
Menace.
prominent one.
All right, Dr. Why y'all find this picture?
Oh boy, these producers. This man have a 1 million official picture.
Okay.
Dr. Hubert Alexander Menace.
You know, I kind of like that picture of him though. But okay, Dr. Hubert Menace. All right. Physician and politician who served as the 4th Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Basic facts, education. He went to Our Ladies. Then he went to St. Sac.
Boy, you know, Doc still trying to convince us he was poor at some point.
He went to Our Ladies, then Western Junior School. He went to SAC. They have his whole career here. We all know about him. Do y'all still need the rest of his
read
CV?
the CV because the Prime Minister might need to appoint him as a special envoy advisor to the office of the Prime Minister.
And he was first elected in Parliament for Kalani in 2007. Sorry. Then served from 2007 to 2012 as Minister of Health. 2012 became leader of the FNM after the party's election defeat, and in 2017 led the FNM to victory and became the Prime Minister. Key moments during his administration included the government's response to Hurricane Dorian, one of the worst disasters in Bahamian country, how he managed the COVID-19 pandemic.
That was also a disaster.
It absolutely was. After the 2021 election, when the FNM lost, he retained his Kalani seat in Parliament and briefly served as the leader of the opposition before the new FNM leader was chosen. That's a brief synopsis of him.
You
so
know
he's
what
the
I want?
independent candidate for Kalani.
I want if Brave Davis gets the opportunity to form another cabinet. Well, I don't want Menace in the cabinet, right? But it would be very interesting to see him be appointed as a PLP senator. They can appoint him as a PLP senator and make him Minister of Unilateral Policies and what are we going to call them? And Public Affairs, right? And so his job could be, you know, like how they always say the Prime Minister shall on communication with the leader of the opposition do this. and Prime Minister shall, on consultation with the leader. And so anytime they need to consult, the Prime Minister just tell him, say, well, and you used to be a Prime Minister. You go over there and tell him. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not. You know what? I actually think that Dr. Minnis has, Kalani is going to be one of those seats that people are going to watch. It's a four-way race.
Yeah. But Michael Barnett said that gives the people the best opportunity to pick the best person.
It's a four-way race, you know, and because I just found out about Dr. MacGyver, I'm actually interested in her now. I had no idea who she was until we did this exercise and I did the CV.
Yeah.
And she's also running in my area for the COI. And then we have Michael Barnett for the F&M. We have Dr. Minnis, who's going to be independent, and then we have Robin Lyons for the PLP. I think it's going to be a seat to watch. It's going to be one of those seats where people are going to be very interested to watch. So I'm excited to see it, and it happens to be my seat.
But I want to say that I think that Michael Barnett Ellis is playing blind jam, and I don't like when people blind jam, because if you felt the way that you say that you feel, if you think the things that you said that you thought, there is no, your actions. You can't say that you are not a man who like men and you invited to all the parties where men who like men this be. You see how those two things just don't go together? You have to say I don't want an invitation. Besides, why they keep inviting you? You create too many, so you cannot say, man, I really think we should not do that to Dr. Minnis, and you holding on the man's seat.
Someone say, go tell that to the leader. This person obviously just listening to everything you say. The producer ain't safe. Why he chose that picture? We know. He ain't safe. Someone say they don't have a problem with that picture. Oh, she's in that constituency. That explains it. I know my bougie people. Not bougie.
Told you she was rich.
Bougie. Someone said, but Pintard is be slick dissing Minnis though. We know that though. They slick diss each other though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
this is better.
They slick diss each other. It's a part of the politics. And honestly, I kind of like the messiness of that politics where they say their little thing and they, you know, it gives us things like Patty Pintard. Something say nothing is wrong with that photo. That's the real deal. Smiles right there. Anyway, it's a seat to watch. We're excited to see what happens in that constituency. Four-way race, election day. You govern election?
Well, I don't know. Depends. We'd have to see.
I say if you govern an election, there was no we in that.
You gonna be there?
All right, who's the next independent that we have?
Frederick McElpine? Oh. She have song.
Yeah, I think we played her song, eh?
Yeah. And you know, once you have song, that's a big deal.
Now, which party was she hoping to get the nomination from the PLP? Okay, Tasha Bullard Hamilton. So she is the independent for Bimini and the Berry Islands. So I try to wait for a picture to come up to make sure it's the same. I don't think so.
Did you put Tasha Bullard Hamilton, Bimini, and Berry Island and see?
Boy, Bimini and Berry, because the picture that come up doesn't look like the same person. So I just want to make sure.
Well, you know, these women nowadays could change their ethnic group with some of these cosmetics. I see they you know, I know people who I've been to school with. When we was in school, there was a earth tree. Now I see them and there's a clay too, and I can't figure out when did this take place.
You know, you can't say nothing because when we take a break, the picture with you, when we go to the break, you are different shade in that picture too.
Well, that's only because they was trying to make you a Chinese in the photo.
You a different shade in that photo too, so don't do that. Don't try to slick this women like y'all don't be highlighting and getting lighter and smoothing out your face because you look different in that photo
Fine,
too.
But I'm not changing my ethnic group.
Okay, so they really don't have a lot of information on her, honestly.
Well, now we probably know why the PLP didn't nominate her.
All they say is she wanted to run for Bimini and Berry Islands and sought the PLP nomination, but the party ultimately ratified another candidate.
Okay. I think, wasn't she in local government or something to that effect?
They say she has family ties to Bimini and was born there. They did say that. She presented a plan for the district that focused on healthcare, medical evacuations, schools, docks, and housing improvements, which is very important, especially medical evacuations. But other than that, I don't see anything like about her history in here. Maybe we have to try harder or chatting and wound up yet. But that's a good plan, and good luck to her.
Yeah. Blue Johnson. I want Andrew Blue Johnson to not record himself in those very short pants anymore. I find it just I don't want to look at it.
All right, so Andrew Blue Johnson, searching the web, is a Bahamian political aspirant and community figure.
What he is, a Bahamian experiment? What?
Aspirant.
Okay.
He sought the nomination for the F&M in Freetown. However, they gave it to Lincoln Deal instead. He was upset about it because they was going to give it to him, and then they had to make some changes when they heard Big Boys was coming for different parties, and then they made changes and they put him there. He has been known in political circles as a grassroots community figure with local support, particularly among people in Freetown. His supporters have been vocal about wanting him to represent that constituency. Quick bio. Chatty and warm up today. Bahamian businessman. That's it.
There you have it. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
But I do remember that he did have a lot of support, and a lot of people were very upset when he was not given a nomination because he was campaigning.
Son of the soil.
And he campaigned for the F&M for a while, hoping to get the nomination.
But I can tell you because I have, you know, my. Are we being? I told you every time we say F&M.
You know what? Now I believe
every
you.
Every time we say F&M, as soon as we say F&M, they ambush us.
You know what? Now I believe you.
It's like the poltergeist.
I believe you. At first I didn't believe you before, but I definitely believe you now.
You can't say F&M. If you say F&M, they're going to click the light off.
Okay, so are we back? We're good?
But I was going to say, because in my capacity as a justice of the peace, you know, I get to move around. Right? And in my moving around as a justice of the peace, one of the king's most ardent justices of the peace, what I found to be particularly interesting is the people on the ground know him.
Okay.
Like, it's not uncommon for you to go into, I try not to stay in that constituency for too long because, you know, ghetto you can't ever get catch slipping like that. And I'm from Angliston, and that's a different area. So I just move in stealth mode, right? But when I go in stealth mode, what you mean? Listen, I want to say big shout out to all the ghetto youth. What you talking about?
You really is go down a path sometimes. We talking about the man. It did seem like he had a lot of good support, and
I'm telling you that if you go into the little local community watering holes in that area, the people them know him. If you go into the little convenience store, the people them. So he seems to definitely have familiarity. Okay. Because you know some people say, "Oh, he from the neighborhood." Yeah, but no one never see you. You just go inside your gate and close it, and that's it. That's it. But it sounds as though he's actually a guy that is in the community.
Yeah. And you know what? Good luck to him.
And I know that because of my capacity as a justice of the peace.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
All right. Next, independent. Is that it?
No, we got Frederick McElpine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Freddie Mac and the Mac Pack.
All right, Frederick McElpine. They did some.
It's a really nice picture, the purple tie.
Lighting up to that photo too. You know, I only point that out to say you keep saying it's only the women who touch up their photos.
Not touch up. There's change ethnic groups.
Now look at that photo good. Let me take the break. Look at the photo that you have. Let me take the break. So Frederick McElpine is a Bahamian pastor, businessman, and politician from Grand Bahama, and best known for serving as a member of parliament for Pine Ridge constituency. He was elected in 2017 as the F&M's candidate for that constituency. During that time, he's known for speaking strongly on issues affecting Grand Bahama, including economic stagnation, investment, and job creation on the island. In 2021, in 2017, after being elected for Pine Ridge, he broke off from the F&M after having some internal disagreements. In 2021, ran as an independent candidate but lost to Ginger, and now he plans on doing it for a second time in this election.
What you plan to do a second time, losing to Ginger?
No, run again as an independent.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I was just wondering what Chat was saying.
No, I didn't say. I said not lose to Ginger, which could possibly happen, but I'm saying run as an independent. As a profession, he's a pastor and a businessman.
Sure.
And that's it.
That's it? Okay.
I like Frederick McElpine. He was one of those, when he was having his little dissension with the party, he also had two little jobs there that were things that were memorable. I liked him. I wish him the best of luck.
This might actually sound weird when I say it, but you know why I voted against Cleola Hamilton? She was awful in the House of Assembly. Like, she just wasn't there. That's the same reason I would vote against Michael now if I were living in Michael. Luckily, he ain't running again. They was just awful in the House of Assembly. there are some of us who enjoy watching the goings-on of the Parliament. I happen to be one of those people.
I only watch it when I have to. Some days
like
it's be
it. It's
exciting,
actually
and
quite
some days
entertaining
it's be like,
sometimes.
yeah, but some days it's.
Yeah, but whether they were discussing serious matters, or whether they were just joshing around in the House of Assembly, which happens from time to time, Frederick McAlpine, even in his highlights, always gave you something to make the news.
He always
with.
made the news.
Yeah, he always gave you
he
something
always
to
made
make
the news.
with.
He always knew what it is. He plays politics very well. He knows what to say to get himself on the news.
Yeah.
There are a lot of parliamentarians in there. There are
Who
a
spent
lot of
7 years in the Parliament,
and
10
you will
years,
never hear
they ain't
word
never
from
been
them.
on a news clip yet. But also,
but everybody isn't meant to be in the spotlight too. I don't mind if my member of parliament is somebody that's quiet but gets the job done. You don't need to be in there making noise. But you also don't need to be in there making noise and you ain't doing nothing. All bark and no bite. You just in there rowing, and my constituency full of potholes and it is flood every time.
But remember now, one of the jobs you hire your politician for is to pontificate. That is one of the things I hire him to do.
No, that's what you hire them to do.
Yeah, I want you to go in there and
to
catch
fix
people
things.
Yeah, I want you to say, you talking about who ain't got enough money in the budget? You know what money is? You never even had no money to say we ain't have money. I'm out of that kind of stuff. But I am also saying that, so I know that Chad said that he's most noted for his run as a politician. That's incredible to me when I hear it, because I know Frederick McAlpine from being very well connected as a preacher.
It said pastor. That's how I know you don't listen when I speak.
I am listening, but they say, his most notable thing was being a member of Parliament. I remember when Fred McAlpine used to have 10 crusades throughout the whole Bahamas. And it obviously proved to be to his benefit when Hurricane Dorian, visited itself up on Grand Bahama. Mm-hmm. Even when his party excommunicated him, he was able to go and get resources, and I believe that is largely tied to the fact that he is a preacher that is very well known.
Okay, well, I wish him the best. Him being a preacher that was very well known, that helped those people during Hurricane Dorian, did not help him win the election. He still lost, and now he's trying again.
Yeah.
So, good luck to him. I hope that this time he is successful, if that is what the people of Grand Bahama want, and if Pine Ridge thinks that he's the best man for the job over Ginger, go ahead.
Well, his slogan say, this time for McAlpine.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh. I saw a car yesterday when we was pulling out the parking lot. Who was it? It was one of those we put in the cabinet yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's a very cute slogan. Wow, I can't remember. I have to remember tomorrow.
I think Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed is the candidate for the Free National Movement.
Okay. Is that all for the independents?
I don't know.
We have any
more independents?
No,
all
that's
right,
it. It's only 10 minutes. I don't know if you want to open up the phone lines in the 10 minutes.
We should open up the phone lines. The people just want to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we give the people a number, let me read some of the comments.
323-7775-6980-775. Those are the numbers you can call us.
I'm a PLP, but blue in Freetown. The PLP love him, and he putting in that work. I have videos if needed. Someone say, Sandy, that's a lot of $400 for the treasury.
Save me enough to run a big tank.
Keep up the good job, Sandy and Levon. Always a pleasure watching you guys. Thank you. I really think what they did to Minnis is bad, because Pintard only is get way today because of Minnis. I think there's a word or two that's missing from there. Someone else say the Treasury will earn lots of $400 this round, and they type that in caps.
Yeah.
Sani Minnis will tan up them churn backsides. Too rude. Okay.
Oh boy.
It's the people are saying. I'm trying to skip over some of the comments.
Do we have a caller? All right, let's go to the phone.
Okay, all right.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Eye on the Nation.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Leader. How you doing?
Hey, Anton.
How you doing?
Hi, good. You listened to the show yesterday?
I listened to you tell the people they must in the beginning. Sorry, how you could allow that?
Y'all is telling me the woman ain't supposed to say nothing. You want me to ride with the head of the house? now you have to make your mind now.
Yeah.
Either I submit
Anton,
or I
almost had
argue with the head of the house. Now you have to make up your mind.
I submitting, Anton. You come right here and push your back.
Which one do you want me to do?
Mr. Leader.
Yeah.
I was thinking as I listened to you especially today, right?
Yeah.
No, it's only sorry, Mr. Leader.
Sorry, what?
Now you know something, Anton? We'll have none of that.
No, look here, Mr. Leader and Johnny.
Hi.
Sorry, good afternoon to the nation. Listen, y'all been wilding out from yesterday, you know. Are you serious?
And the week almost over. We
But
can be
listen,
here tomorrow.
I appoint Chester Cooper Minister of Foreign Affairs. And,
y'all been wilding out.
You didn't like that?
Y'all been wilding out from yesterday. And guess what? Y'all continue today. Y'all want minutes to be a part of the Davis administration.
This is what that man said. Do not put us together with that. He said that.
Hear me out, Andon. The one thing I like to do is if people scared of ghosts, I like to create a ghost. And so if...
But look here, as it relates to Senator Michael Barnett Ellis's communication, right? Mm-hmm. The only other person who has led the F&M administration from turmoil, 20 years, trying to find ways to Parliament as government. He is a former PLP. And guess what? He said on the F&M stage, right? Mm-hmm. At the time when they were in opposition and Hubert Minnis led them to government, he said that he is more PLP than Perry Percy.
He did say that. I do remember that, yes.
They all clap him up.
Yeah.
They all clap him up and laugh him up and hug him up and love him up. So we need to stop this nonsense in politics. It's nothing no one in the F&M can do with the legacy of Hubert Minnis. His legacy is enshrined in history forever. And as a matter of fact, no one outside of Hubert Alexander Ingram can speak at his level because none of them have served as prime minister.
Yeah.
Okay? And so as it relates to...
And to be quite honest, it ain't looking good for them.
Huh?
And to be quite honest, it ain't looking good for the rest of them.
And that's what I want to end on right now.
Yeah.
As it relates to going into this next election, they still gonna be on the outside looking in. As a matter of fact, they better be careful that Saudi don't wish Dr. McGavin out there. But that ain't gonna happen either because we get Robin out there.
Hey, all I want
on for the PLP.
They don't pay me for advice, Antoine. I gotta let you go, but they don't pay me for advice. Yeah. But the one thing I want to tell them is, buy your sage wholesale, my brother. Because you're going to need plenty sage.
We have other callers. We only have 5 minutes left. You want to go or we
go ahead.
Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, listen, this I can be real quick because you all might have to pick this up on another show, right? Mm-hmm. But Lee, I want you and Sandy to look into something for me.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Do you all think with sitting members of parliament, right? Mm-hmm. Sitting members of parliament, I don't know who are in, that have constituency offices, not those who have their offices and not in. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of them having their party's paraphernalia parked at the constituency office, right? Mm-hmm. While taxpayers' money is paying for those offices now, notwithstanding that elections are being called. Mm-hmm. Do you think that party paraphernalia should be around these constituency offices? I think they're doing a lot of disservice in probably running away people who may want to come around those offices and have real concerns in the constituency. And don't want to be necessarily associated. I'm talking about both sides, but look into it, and maybe it's a conversation for another day to dig into. And I'm not referring to candidates or ratified persons who are not sitting members of parliament, and government is not paying for those offices. I'll hang up and listen to your spot.
All right, thank you.
Well, I do know from my knowledge of knowing that you don't like the way I say that. That they go to great lengths to try to avoid that.
But if he's saying it, then he clearly. But I mean,
the question becomes, what do you do as the do you tell people what to drive?
No, he's saying party paraphernalia. So I guess what he's saying is maybe you could see if they have the cars parked or they're wrapped with the F&M colors or COI colors or F&M or what other one, the PLP colors, or if they have the T-shirts and stuff and if you've given out T-shirts and hats for people from the headquarters that is supposed to be for everybody to go to.
But it's wartime, though, isn't it? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but I also may want to come there, and then now I feel like I can't come with my concern because you may feel like I would another party instead of, I don't know. It's time to go. We could pick it up tomorrow. Like he said, we only had a short amount of time left. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah.
I am exhausted.
You see how I case out Bala for you?
No, I had to beg you to do that.
It doesn't matter. If
you're supposed to do it without being told to do it.
Bala case out again tomorrow so I can case you out immediately afterwards.
We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Francesca Brown.
And I'm Leland Miller, and thank you for watching I Am the Nation.